From water deep to Icewind Dale, unlikely friends fight tooth and scale. A little faith, a lot of rage, to bring the summer back again. Now roll the dice, see how they fall, don't waste your action. Bonus action. Heroes, tortured and trapped within the mist, hunted by horrors from out the abyss. We've seen friends fall, but must endure, survive to see the sun once more. Now roll the dice, see how they fall, don't waste your action. Heroes.
Hello. Good evening. How are we all doing? Good, I hope. So welcome back. Tonight we are playing our next arc of Out of the Abyss. How's everyone doing? Who looking forward to it tonight?
I don't know if you were talking to us or the internet and getting psychic.
Little bit of both, but I think the internet hasn't turned up yet. So how are you guys doing?
The internet hasn't turned up yet.
Yeah, look, it's a very Monday day, so I'm looking forward to this.
Well, hopefully.
Matt's given me homework.
I did not.
Doing now that I'm in class.
I did. Yeah, I can.
True way.
I can totally relate to that. That's like definitely how I would have done it. So, if you're ready, I will. I think Steve might be joining us later. I know Hazel is here, but just off cam for a minute. So. Hopefully Steve hopefully Steve can join us a little bit later, but if not, hey buddy, don't work too hard. I'm going to do a little bit of a summary for you all, just so you remember. A lot happened in the last arc, and we will transition now to the docks in the city of Gracklstugh, where a hastily repaired longship is sort of sitting in dock, water gently lapping. Goblin crew are running around very industriously, bickering with one another and getting the ship ready to sail. On the deck you can see a huge 8-9 foot tall quaggoth wearing very fine nautical clothing and a tricorn hat. You also see a number of a shield dwarf with red hair. You see a bald bearded dwergar and a number of other creatures, including a sort of 4-foot sentient mushroom waddling around, not really doing much. So a lot has happened since our intrepid heroes, still feels weird saying that, but escaped from Valkenvalve and made their way to Gracklstugh. So the party actually uncovered a huge Darrow conspiracy in the winding tunnels beneath the city. Dark rituals were being cast upon those in the city above, causing them to lose their minds and actually grow second heads and lose control of their bodies. But the party thwarted that, ended the ritual, provided the evidence of the Darrow conspiracy, and to the relief of Drodin, that also relieved him of his death sentence by dragonfire, proving that there was indeed a conspiracy to undermine the city of Gracklstugh and the king. The party also recovered a dragon egg and returned that to the Dwergar. Since returning it, they learned that the reason they needed it is because Temperchild, the rather portly and increasingly belligerent red dragon who powers their forges, has become rather hard to handle. And thanks to the party, they will now be able to cull this belligerent red dragon and nurture a new one in its place who can be more controlled. Hi, Davey. Yes, you're probably right. The titles are incorrect. I knew I'd get one thing wrong. It's like a tradition, right, that I get one thing wrong. Out of the Abyss. It is not Curse of Strahd. No, it is Out of the Abyss.
Hey, Davey.
You can hear me typing away, just updating the stream really quick. What What else happened? So Tink, the diminutive clockwork fae, seeking to understand her past life and her lack of memories, managed to track down a place called the Intricate Requiem, an artificer's guild, which on approach was covered with hundreds, maybe more, of these unnerving, mechanical, semi-biological eyes. The owner of this place, Victor Gabor, had some sort of hand in bringing Tink back. But whether he was a friend or foe, I think is yet to be determined. Likewise, Drodin discovered that his former and estranged partner Yasva had potentially been transferred by Victor, her mind at least, into the body of a hook horror. And indeed, he found the body of his former partner and the body of Tink's reported previous dwarven form, both held in stasis, preserved at the moment of death. And later on, you would return and find Victor in a cage, where you would make the difficult decision to release him and help him in the hope that you could trust him. And he rewarded that with a number of trinkets and items. So for your services, you were also given audience with the king, who, upon meeting him, you realised was under some sort of enchantment or influence that was making his decisions making strange. And you found that it was his consort, Charles, a beautiful shield dwarf wearing a dress made of gold coins, and was in fact a succubus. And with a clever enchantment from Malice, the king awoke from his enchantment, and a fight ensued. Unfortunately, poor Serdi was kissed by said succubus, and it's safe to say he was within an inch of his life, if not closer. So, the last thing the party decided was to head across the Dark Lake to Neverlight Grove to try and return young Myconid Stool to his home. It is the 16th day of Marpanoth in the year 1489 by Dale reckoning. We rejoin our party now as they leave the Dark Lake docks. Sergeant Blackskull holds a hand up and waves you off. Her face is just as stern and emotionless as always, but as the boat begins to move away, creaking on the gently lapping water, she turns and walks off back into the city. And we see our adventurers on the deck of the ship. We see two drow, one a cleric, silver hair, strange dark robes, another more studious, a male, a little taller, a clockwork fairy, probably 1.5 feet tall, with strange mechanical augmentations holding her body and wings together, a pale elf, and a small black kobold with a tiny drake next to him. Well, the drake's not so tiny, actually. It's probably taller than him. So we join them now as they edge out into the Dark Lake on their journey to Neverlight Grove.
I think she is talking, but I cannot hear her.
Oh, good, great. You can't hear me.
I can.
No, we can now.
For goodness sake.
No, we all just froze for a minute there. We were just coexisting. It was nice.
I said, Hemeth.
Oh, yes, sorry. Yes, where are we heading, Captain?
Neverlight Grove.
Yes, I meant to say Sergeant Blackskull left that chest over there for you. I've put it by the crates.
Stop. Thank you. Get that I asked you for.
Yes, yes. I think it is below with Derendil. Do you want it now? Well, I can't. I'm steering the ship right now.
Read of it, and if it's okay, I'm going to follow you about for a bit, be your shadow.
That's fine. I think Captain Blackskull said you would find what was in the chest very useful.
Okay. I'll walk past the others and on the way to the chest and say, "Come have a look at this. This is from Captain Blackskull."
Sounds interesting.
I hope it's not another mimic. Or a cursed doll. I think to very much not trust the things that we find.
It's very true.
Blackskull seemed, well, incapable of dishonesty.
I did mean to say, are we going to do anything with that doll? Because, like, at the moment it's just piled under about 7 crates, and yeah, it feels like a problem waiting to happen.
Well, we tried throwing it overboard and it just came back.
It did, yes. Fair enough.
We get some to another large city like Blingdenstone, we can see if there's someone who has a particular understanding of animated dolls.
We have some time. I might be able to do something with it. I just don't want to exacerbate the situation.
Sorry, you threw it overboard and it came back.
Oh,
Here for
I've
that,
not
yeah.
met the doll.
I don't think I want to. Sounds horrible.
I do think it could be a learning experience, though. So when I do examine it, if you would want to be involved, that could be quite interesting.
I don't want to see that thing. It killed 3 of the goblins very easily.
Stabbed me twice.
True. Yes.
A murderous doll that you can't get rid of.
Yes, and also just make sure that none of the crew members bite you.
What?
Would
Or
they
scratch you.
want to bite me?
Sorry, what? Why?
Just, health and safety reasons.
Which ones?
Above table, are the were-rats still part of our crew? They haven't left, have they?
That you're aware of, yeah.
I feel like Hemith would have been aware of this.
Yeah, I was just feigning, like, because the goblins can hear, right? You want them to know?
I would prefer none of the crew to bite any of the other crew, and I think it is fair that we have a general health and safety warning that biting and scratching is forbidden upon the ship against crewmates and guests of the crew.
I mean, to be fair, I've never bitten anyone. Ever.
I'm a little bit worried, Malice, that you feel it's something we ought to say.
I think at that
Your bunk
point...
stays in your bunk. Are you okay, Malice?
Your bunk stays in your bunk or your junk stays in your bunk.
What do you mean? What happens in your bunk stays in your bunk? I think that's a sailing phrase.
Okay,
Well, I wanted to make a similar joke. I thought it was a tiny bit too inappropriate.
If you can't be inappropriate at sea, my friend, where can you be inappropriate? Like, once you get, like, 12 miles out, it's all, like, there's no laws or anything. So,
laws and rules on the ship, such as no biting or scratching.
So let...
Without consent.
Right, we're going to travel by boat because it's safer. Apart from the stabbing dolls and the threat of getting bitten by the crew.
But we know those threats, whereas we don't know the threats outside of the boat.
And so we can mitigate those threats by having various rules and standards that we maintain through a form of social contract.
This is true. Some sort of health and safety inspection.
I've got head cages made in Gracklstugh. They would be very hard to break out of.
Cages?
Yeah, head cages, yes.
Cages just for the head?
Yeah, it stops biting and...
It doesn't stop the scratching, though, so we'd need like manacled mittens.
Mittens, yes.
Okay.
We
This is
have left shore now, so perhaps it doesn't help to reflect on what we could have done, and as Malice said, install these new rules.
It does allow for us to learn from our mistakes. But yes, no, Sadie, there was an incident before you joined us where some members of the crew were having a particularly troublesome evening, and there's some fighting and some scratching, and it could be at the next full moon, I think they said. Not quite sure, I haven't witnessed it myself. I turn into a rat myself.
Oh, I see. Yes. Well, unfortunately, the only way we can tell down here when there is a full moon, I've heard stories of this moon. It sounds weird. Is if there are were rats nearby and they turn, then you know it is full moon apparently. So they might be useful for telling what time of month it is.
That is actually very true.
It's kind of were rat calendar kind of thing.
But so generally, if you start to see them acting suspiciously, but not criminally suspiciously, just health and safety wise suspiciously, then please just let me know so that I can.
We could just push them in the lake.
That would also be a health and safety violation.
He is a valued member of their team, whatever their afflictions.
I mean,
very, very good. Yes, that's why I stay with you all. You're very what's the word? Pragmatic, reasonable. No. So the chest, and he will sort of put a goblin on the rudder and pick up the chest and open it, and you will see a book. Well, you will see about 9 books inside. They're all very thick. You can see on the spine of each of them, the book has got the very nicely named title of 723 Detailed Steps to Becoming a Naval Captain, including mock exams, written by Captain Gracklstugh. And
ooh,
and it's like there's part 1, 2, 3, all the way through to 7. It's like a set of encyclopedias. It looks very detailed.
I
you enjoy a good exam.
My arms.
Oh, it's a shame they didn't send you the full set, just the abridged version. But yeah, it's still pretty good. I hear.
Full set?
Yeah, the full set is 19 books.
Oh, wow. I'm going to have to find the other 12?
Oh, no, this is the abridged version. So the 7 books has most of the important information. It just doesn't have the minute, procedural charts and things with the tree branching and all the decision trees. If you're in an emergency, you can just you just look up which book you need, you go to the relevant passage, you look up the decision tree, and you can follow it through, if you don't know what you're doing. This is more instructional, you just get the advice and the learning. You don't get the full decision trees. So sorry, but it's still good.
This sounds right up your street, Malice. Perhaps you could do one just for the crew. Like a decision tree, which nothing leads to biting and scratching.
Oh, I highly commend decision trees. They are very, very useful for training people.
Do sound like they could work quite well. I'll give it some consideration and do some monitoring over the next few days and collect information on the way in which people interact, and we can have a fully formed kind of onboarding and a whole training schedule.
Onboarding, I see what you did there. It's nautical.
You might enjoy it.
Yes, very good. Look, I am laughing. He's not laughing.
Are you?
Where I come from, this is laughing.
Okay. God, we have Captain Holt as our helmsman.
But that does bring me on to where are we still heading for Neverlight Grove? Probably need to plan what we want to do, or do you just want me to take care of it?
Plan is Neverlight Grove. I know we can't get all the way into Neverlight Grove, so as close as we can.
Yes, close enough.
I did a bit of research, and there is rumor. I've been near this place, but not to it. There is rumor that the Grove is it has a number of water sources, and one of them does meet with the lake, and you can sail up this tributary, I think is the word in Undercommon. You can sail up it and get quite close to the city, if you wish to, keep your ship.
Stool, come over here. Stop. You don't need to be stabbing the mast. I'm aware. I'm not, okay, yes, we can put it down now. Okay, but do you know much about getting into Neverlight Grove if we're to return you there? Would you be able to lead us?
You see a little puff of spores pour out. Everyone within close range feels that their minds connect up like a web. No stabbing now. Got 2 stabbers.
Yes, and you're getting very good at counting.
We perhaps separate Stool and the doll.
Well, I'm starting to think that if we continue training Stool like this, he'll be quite a good combatant against the doll. Similar heights and same level of viciousness.
I'm worried he might be picking up a thing or two from some of the I don't know quite the correct way to discuss it. The less courteous of the goblins.
The crew.
The crew. The less courteous of the crew.
Mother Malice teached me that when someone hurts you, you get angry and get revenge. And that is what I will do. With 2 stabbers.
I don't think that's a particularly wise course of action, but everyone will have a different view on how to handle such a thing.
Still needs to know how to survive. They're a sailor now.
Yes, I don't think encouraging to resolve all of his problems with stabbing is necessarily productive to his long-term health.
Not just stabbing, revenge as well. Like vengeance.
Very purposeful.
Yeah, righteous fury and all of that.
Are we sure we want to go to Neverlight Grove?
I
Yes.
think that maybe returning him to his people before we do any more damage to him is probably the best bet.
I'm just wondering whether we should be responsible for unleashing him on Neverlight Grove.
I'm
also slightly concerned about this fact.
I think at the moment the damage might be reversible, but I think if he goes through one more city with us, I'm not sure there'll be any bringing him back. Sorry, Stool, I don't mean to talk about you in front of you like this. I am worried about your preference for violence. I know we talked about why you might stab someone, but you seem to want to stab someone, and I think that concerns some of the others.
Oh. Is it not? So I shouldn't stab people.
No.
Well, there are certain
You all stab people all the time.
there are certain
Blow them up and hit them with magic and make their noses bleed.
If you can't help it, if there's no other way, then that's okay to do that. But I found in the past that when I'm on my own, hiding is quite an effective way to keep yourself safe too.
Okay.
I might have an idea to help with this. I've just
Also-
been browsing. Go on.
You also just see Malice kind of crumple in on herself and the idea of Stool hiding as she remembers the last time we hid him. And he got torn to shreds. Mushroom baby. Sorry, go ahead.
I've just been browsing the contents of Volume 1, and there's a whole chapter on defined roles within a ship environment, everyone having a responsibility for something, and one of them is a cook. He could put his knife skills to good use there. With some responsible adult's assistance, I was thinking Darendil.
It could be worthwhile, and I mean, we're all from different places. We could each teach him a dish that we might all miss from where we're from. Though we
Lovely
only
idea.
really have dried meats and some mushrooms. We have got some lizard meat. That could be quite interesting. Okay, stop me before I start coming up.
No, keep going.
I mean, we all quite liked those lizard kebabs, didn't we? That could be quite useful. I wonder if some of the fungus that is growing in Stool's mulch patch, if we could dry that and use it as flavourings. So many things that we could do.
Nothing
Sounds
like
like you
a
could
good
help, Stool.
centipede. You just chop it up a little and eat it fresh. That's delicious.
Meal for us, but more of a snack for them.
Still knows all the mushrooms that you can eat. And all the ones you can only eat once. I'm a chef now, and he just throws the knives into the deck and goes running off towards the hatch to go down below deck.
Well, that's more constructive, I think.
Yes, I do worry about him trying to cook the people below deck, though.
Bill, could you go with him?
Yes, of course, yeah. He won't cook people, will he? He's quite small.
Oh, also, are you okay in potentially cooking?
I mean, I had people for that kind of thing back home in Nelrinda Vane, but yeah, I'll
You
give
just
it a
seem
go.
to have a much more refined palate than the rest of us.
Well, that's true. I probably should do all the tasting, no matter what happens. Good point. Yes, I'll go help the little Tyke. I'm sure he'll be fine.
Thank you.
And you
What
see
have you
him
done?
drop down the ladder.
It's a Quaggoth that's never cooked and thinks he's an elf and a mushroom that may try and cook the goblins.
I was more concerned about the preserved dwarf and Yasva's remains.
My
Darendil.
morgue is locked. It has to have such a tight seal. We cannot risk it being opened outside of opening hours.
What are your opening hours, Malice?
I'm curious in case I want to go and see Yasva.
Why would you want to see a body?
It's it's someone from my past. A person.
I'm aware of this, but I'm just wondering about. I've witnessed other people doing this where they want to spend time with the remains of people they once knew, and I just don't understand it. They're no longer that person.
In Yasva's case, literally, she's a hook horror, apparently.
A very extreme case of wanting to spend more time with someone that's dead.
It's good for venting frustrations.
What are you going to do to the body?
Nothing. I'm just going to scold it effectively.
Well, that's doing something, and I take it you mean with words and not with hot water.
Yes, obviously with words.
Well, if
I'm not a
anything-
sadist.
That's better than what you could have been in this conversation. But if anyone does want to enter, that's fine. Do just ask, and we'll take the appropriate precautions. It's just we need to keep humidity at a certain level, keep the temperature. It's taken quite a lot of work to prepare the room.
Speaking of your morgue, apparently every ship needs a surgeon, and from what you said earlier, a health and safety officer is probably a good dual role for yourself.
I mean, I suppose so, but I haven't had that much interaction with the remains of the living. Oh, well, I suppose if they're living, it's not remains. I can certainly try.
Ideas based on what I'm reading right here in this moment.
Well, I suppose the worst case is if you're bringing someone back to life, if they, in some form or another, if they pass away, you do that.
Level, I believe so. Yes. Though it depends on exactly how they want to be brought back. Are you talking for you to be brought back as yourselves, or
It would
just brought
certainly be
back?
one's preference.
We're going to have to set up HR conversations with everybody to work out what they would like to do if they do
Yes,
fall.
I do think it would be preferable if I could have a file for each of you regarding your preferences. I've already started them. I've got your preferences on what you want done with your remains if you are to fall. We had that conversation a few days ago, but yes, if I'm able to bring you back in some form, could be quite useful. I suppose it all depends on how you feel about souls and whatnot, or your actual appearance and life.
Food for thought.
Yes. I think I'm not going to rush to answer that one.
Am I the only one that feels like I'm not sure what you're saying to me? You can bring me back, but only if I'm not too worried about how I look and life. Maybe it's a language barrier here. I'm not quite... What do you mean?
Well, I do generally just deal with the dead.
Oh,
Done
yes.
too much of the bringing back to life, and I'm not quite sure what the results would be. So Tink, you have died and you've been brought back, but you're not currently, or is it that someone died and people can change in death? How I bring you back might change you, might reveal you, might hide you away in some way. We're not quite sure. There are different versions of this, and kind of like a gesture to Tink, and there are then situations where people just die and that's what they want. So it's just some different conversations for us to have. I will think on it. I'll come up with a few options. I don't want you wandering down these metaphorical rabbit holes. I'll do some research.
Just for the record then, I, Hemith, wish to not be dead But if I am dead and you can't make me alive, just push me in the sea. That's fine.
Good to know. I'll add that to your record.
Yeah, tie a rock on or something so I don't float.
Do you want to be chopped up into little pieces so that you can be food for whatever is out there more easily?
Not really. You'd need a lot of rocks if you chop me up. Just like one big rock and yeah, just
Okay.
like,
Good to know.
I mean, it seems like you people eat people from what you're saying, so not keen on that. I'm not gonna lie, but I mean, out here it's not illegal if you're hungry.
It's all just meat.
Do we eat people?
My concerns about Stool cooking Jasper.
Oh, no, Stool's just Stool.
I must admit, we have debated this all at quite some length.
Yes, we have also debated this
Cannibalism,
quite at length.
So
We were in a much more precarious survival position previously.
Okay, yeah, the little mushroom told me that you all like debated eating goblet. And he realizes that there's the goblins everywhere and stops himself.
I think we
Is
also
there-
considered any other kind of creature.
Well, I'm just saying, don't eat me unless you have to. Okay.
Reason here is not to fear us, but to admire our survival instincts.
Okay. Well, that's good to have at sea because you'll never know what's going to happen. We do need to make some decisions about how you want to proceed, Captain. But obviously in your own time, I'll get my notebook and I will take note of everything you say.
Do you need other than we want to go to Neverlight Grove?
Do we need to go there right away? I mean, I feel like there are perhaps some things we left that were nearer to Gracklstugh. I mean, we need the other half of the sword we found. Is
So
that close by?
My concern there is that we are still being followed. There were signs of the Drow Guard within Gracklstugh itself, so by bypassing maybe some of the nearer locations and heading to Neverlight Grove, it could buy us some time, throw them off the scent, and then we can return at a more leisurely pace later on and maybe make use of the house we've been gifted.
All the places that people wish to return to, that people call home, that is the nearest, I believe. The sword you speak of, I thought that was with the other company that we met with, and I'm not sure where they are.
We have the hilt, but I believe the best inclination we have is that Gracklstugh and his companions took the stone that we'd need for it.
Do we know where they went?
Sadly not.
So that is simply a chance meeting.
I feel this is important. I mean, we know that we've already encountered one creature down here in the King's Chamber, and this is a sword designed to combat such things.
I know you're a good tracker, but I don't know how we can track on open water. They were in a ship themselves.
I mean,
Perhaps it's something you could look into with Hammett. He knows the water.
I wonder if... Do we know the name of the vessel they travelled by, or the name of... Do they have a group name?
Well, they called their group the Society of Brilliance.
Society of what, sorry?
Brilliance.
They were very smug. We can
Well,
ask
okay.
at our next stop.
I shall ask the crew if they've heard anything while they're around the wharf. I shall pursue it. Jim, can you put the name in the chat because I have no idea to spell what you just said?
Brilliance.
Brilliant! I thought you said Brillix or something like that.
Was Brillig
they
and the slimy
misheard you.
toads.
Totally misheard you. There's some weird combination of consonants that.
I was looking at you going, Tom didn't hear what I fucking said again.
Sorry.
That's all right.
We're on the subject, speaking to your natural tracking abilities and skills in navigation and things, perhaps you and Hemeth could act as bosun.
Yes. I could give it a go. I have a very good sense of smell, even on the water things drift across.
You do smell, yes.
Sense of smell.
Oh,
And believe me, to me, you lot are not very nice smelling either.
I try to think what you smell like to yourself then. Sorry, no offense, but it's all those weird things you eat. Yes, no problem. I can work with a fine kobold friend. He's small but mighty.
I like you.
I like you as well if you are downwind. Upwind.
Oh, it's like a buddy cop spin-off that's waiting to happen.
Like Hemeth and Serdi solving nautical crimes.
Battling piracy one ship at a time.
Could be a whole
Let's
series
go
of
to the
novels
dark
there,
way.
like
I like
94 parts.
If we think this having different responsibilities on the ship is a good idea, then my next question would be... I was sort of proclaimed captain because pretty much we needed somebody to make a decision and be a face for the group, but I will understand if that is not what people think I should be.
You already have the hat.
I do.
It is half the battle having a hat. You went to the trouble.
I don't think it'll fit on anybody else.
No. Maybe Stool.
Did think perhaps I may have the people skills for the role, but not necessarily the nautical
Temperament?
know-how.
No.
And although I'm going to read these books and I'm going to do these papers and I'm going to fucking love it, I might appreciate a co-captaincy.
Well, if you're looking for a first mate, I went Barovian there for some reason. If you're looking for a first mate, you're going to have to pick one yourself, I think.
Mate seems to be more about keeping crew morale high. They need to be quite charismatic too. I was wondering if you wanted to co-captain with me, Drodin.
I'm not an especially charismatic man, but I can do my best.
I'll do that bit, you do the smart bit.
Fair enough.
As a Dwegar, to me you are very charismatic, Drodin.
Thank you kindly, Hemeth. You're a charming Dwegar.
Thank you, I think.
Would you
Look,
two like us
everybody's
to
getting along.
give you some privacy?
No, wait a minute. He was just saying he liked you. Hemeth,
Yes. I didn't say I liked him. Well, I do a little bit, but
You're
I was just saying
very
he was...
fickle.
What?
You're coming across as quite fickle.
You've met me, right? I'm not very good at expressing myself, and then I accidentally do it because I've been hanging around with you all for so long, And then I feel really stupid because I've done it, and then you notice it, and then you're like, why are you doing that? And then I feel even worse. I'm just going to go over there and steer the ship. Okay. So
We
he
are
turns
quite
and walks off looking awkward.
We are quite insidious that way.
You.
But yes, I was quite happy to fulfill a role as don't know, an arcanist or something for the ship. But you would
That's not in this book, but I guess
no.
it would work.
Well, I wouldn't have considered myself to have a great deal of marketable skills. But if you want me to help with captaining the ship from time to time, it's also quite all right.
Well, one of us is going to be asleep at some point.
I only need 4 hours of sleep.
I need beauty sleep.
I don't even actually sleep. I more meditate.
And if the first mate is meant to look after all the crew, I think Eldif's been doing that pretty well, and I can help. If you're up for the role. You did buy them all food and clothes, and I feel like you've spent more time with them than any of us yet. I assume Eldith is here.
You start saying that, and you look around, and you realise she's not there.
I find Eldith.
Okay, yeah, she's down below deck. Hi, hello, Captain. How are you?
We're assigning roles.
Okay.
First mate,
Me?
you need to be in with the crew, and you've looked after them.
Look, if you get me back to my family in Gauntlegrim, I will clean the latrines. I don't care. So if you want me to be first mate, fair enough. Whatever you need.
Making files for every crew member. Malice is going to need those. She's going to hold some interviews with everyone to find out what to do in case of emergency.
Right. Files. You sure you don't want me to clean the latrines?
I've already got the majority of Eldif's information, including her next of kin, don't worry.
Aye, we did
Malice
discuss
is on
that.
it.
Okay. Aye, no problem. Whatever you need, I'm there.
But Hemif left. He wanted more information from us, and then he left.
I think you embarrassed him.
We're all agreed, Neverlight Grove. Sadie not so much, but maybe we've convinced you.
I'm happy to do that if you think it's the most useful thing. I just feel there's a lot we need to get to the bottom of. So if we must go to Neverlight Grove first, let's not tally. Let's go there as quickly as possible and get back to where we can be of use.
Agreed.
Aye, and to be fair, if you go, I've never been to the Grove, but I know that Gauntlegrim is beyond it, so it could be a good staging point to go to my people who can help us deal with this threat. Give your fine folk somewhere to live that's not, wanted to kill you. Just saying. I guess that raises a question, though. You're talking about Neverlight. Do we have any idea about routes? The lake is not just a lake. There are tunnels, there are passages, there are open areas very much like the sea. Do we have any idea how we wish to proceed, or are we just going in straight line happens?
seemed to say that there was a way into Neverlight Grove via the lake, but whether or not he knows it wasn't clear. Do we have maps?
Not that I'm aware of. No. Hemeth seems to have a bit of knowledge.
I'm gonna go over to Hemeth.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if we embarrassed you. I guess that's our way of bantering.
I am very new to bantering and compliments, so please bear with me as I learn this new way of being.
Well, equally, if any of it makes you uncomfortable, or any of it you particularly like, feed it back. This is a place where we're going to have to all get along, so we best get to know each other and how to manage each other.
This is very different from Dwegar, Captain. He would just shout, tell you what to do, and you would do it. All of this...
Would prefer?
Well, it's kind of easier. You don't have to think, but you have to trust that Captain can think. I'm not saying you can't think, Captain. I'm just saying it's very different. This consensus that you talk about is a very alien concept to me.
About morale than anything.
It's a thought-provoking theory you have.
I don't doubt if we are in dire straits, I will shout orders at you.
Good. I look forward to it. But
Could you
yes.
come back, please? We need your advice.
Okay. All right. Take the helm, and one of the goblins takes over the rudder.
How are the goblins getting along?
They're pretty good. They bicker a lot, but they actually work quite hard as long as you pay them on time.
They're taking your instruction pretty well?
Not at first, but they do the shouting and then they,
Well, we're all learning here, and I'm afraid you're the only real expert. So I was thinking, after we make some decisions, we can all maybe go work with the goblins and get to know how to run the ship ourselves better.
No, they are a surprise to me. I thought we would be sunk by now.
I wish you had shared that with me, but I am equally surprised.
It's only been 40 minutes. I mean, give it time.
Do we have maps?
I don't. I'm sorry, I don't have maps. The ship that I was on previously sank, so I don't have maps. But I have a vague, a good memory of the lake.
And we have parchment and ink.
You wish me to draw you a map? Very well.
Oh.
I mean, we have. I don't know. The little mushroom is apparently knows where this place is. He can sense the direction. There are several routes that I am aware of. There is the more open option. If we go north and sail around and then come back down to where I think this place is, it would be probably the fastest, but the most open. Most likely to come across other ships, most likely to come across large lake life. There is some old worm tunnels that are flooded that are big enough for a ship such as ours, which could be good. That is this more central route, and to the south is many islands. You remember the Dragon's Teeth that we sailed through?
They were perilous.
They
I
were.
assume we're back at the group now, and I don't have to have this
Yeah,
conversation.
he's wandered back now with everyone.
Sorry, I'm taking all of that in. I like to think that Tink has Mage Hand, did a little notebook and is writing down things as we hover along. When you say... Sorry, go on.
So these worm tunnels, we're sure they're abandoned worm tunnels.
Well, they are flooded, so it's always been assumed they are very, very old. They are a little like the if you have ever been to Blingdenstone, they have canals there, a little like that, but bigger and not so precise. So I've never encountered a worm in there, but it is one of those
Sailed them
things.
before.
I have sailed through, some of them, yes. They are relatively wide. And of course, you can't be seen other than something coming the other way, but that's the problem. If something does find you, then you don't have anywhere to go. But it is quieter. People don't like it.
And on the open water, you said, what sort of ships would be taking that route if you say we're likely to encounter other ships? Is it a trade route or
Yeah, well,
are there pirates
I
here?
mean, there's no... there are some strange trade routes there. I've seen drow, I've seen gnomes, I have seen my own people, and I have seen Kuatoa. They are quite common around there. And they are quite common in the south as well. And you can sometimes treat with them, or sometimes they are just looking to take what they can from passing ships.
Ah, like raiders.
Yes, yes.
Okay, I was going to say, well, that sounds quite friendly up until that point.
It's one of those things. You can never be sure. If you go in the open way, you just have to go, keep your eyes very well open, keep good watch, and go as fast as you can. I'm not sure how fast this crew is capable of. They are very new. And with respect, Captain, you are very new too.
Absolutely, and that is why I appreciate your advice. It sounds from what you're saying that you would lean towards the tunnels.
I would ordinarily, but I have heard what you said about what Malice has said about we might have drow pursuers, or my concern is if we get caught in the tunnels, we have nowhere to go. It is a fight, guaranteed. They may not be in there. They may not see us. I mean, I don't see anything, but
So,
how can we tell?
if we go in the tunnels, we might go unseen, but if we are seen, it's likely by the people that we don't want to see us, it's likely to be confrontational. If we go the direct route, there's more chance of being spotted by the people we don't want to see us, but if we are, we can get away.
Depending on how good the crew are. Yes. And I don't know, do you know what ships these drow have? Are they smaller, bigger than this?
They do. Do they have ships?
I don't know. If they don't have ships, we're quite safe.
Man,
I don't know.
were you familiar with any, well, sailing drow?
You would know that there are drow sailors that run trade routes, but you probably wouldn't know any from your role.
Yeah, well, I've not got that much experience of it, but I am aware that when we were imprisoned and to be moved to
Valkenvelve.
Where were we held?
Yeah, you were moved from Menzebrand to Valkenvelve. So yeah, you probably would have been on a ship, and it probably would have been a little bigger than this, with ballistas and cannons, black powder cannons.
And so there are quite regular slaving ships, and there has to be a way to move goods. And just by the nature of my people, it would not surprise me if there's quite a number of well-prepared, well-stocked, and well armed vessels on the water. Doesn't mean that the
Right.
land is any safer.
No, I mean, we don't have any big weapons here. I've not had the privilege to use drow black powder, but I have used ballistas. But this ship is Kuatoa. It has nothing really of that nature. It has bases for such things, but we don't have any yet. I mean, there
We're
is.
looking to upgrades at our next city stop.
Yes, well, yeah, or we can keep an eye open for wrecks and try and salvage something. It's quite possible.
I have quite a few fireballs I can throw.
You knew you said there was more chance of bumping into other ships, but how much is more chance? Do you frequently see other ships? Forgive me, this is my first time.
It's quite common on the Dark Lake to see, well, maybe 2-3 ships a day. Potentially, usually at a distance. Many people do not wish to approach one another, but those with ill intent will, of course, always approach. It depends how the captain orders you to travel. If it is lights out, darkness, and as fast as possible, everyone being as quiet as possible, with good people with good eyes watching from the crow's nest and making sure that we are safe, then you can, in theory, avoid any contact. It depends on who your foes are.
It feels like a surer way again is through the tunnels. I know the only real risk that I see there is what you said before about being cornered in a pursuit, but considering our lack of weaponry as a ship, we would be the ship's best defense, and if we could mount their ships in a cornered place, I think we'd have better luck. I'm leaning towards the tunnels. Co-captain Drodin, I see you're eating rations, but do you have any thoughts? I'm also eating rations.
No. I do see the value of going through the tunnels. I am more concerned about the possibility that we might get ambushed like we did previously, with our ship getting caught in webs. Or getting pincered effectively by a ship ahead of us. Whereas on the open lake we have a bit more maneuverability. And we have to consider that we're in a Kuatoa ship. Most people probably wouldn't think we'd be carrying anything of any value. And if we only see 2 ships a day, I think our chances of at least evading anybody until we have a degree more notoriety is probably quite acceptable.
That makes a lot of sense, but it begs a question again, Hemeth. You mentioned we might encounter larger creatures out on the open sea. What sort of creatures have you experienced? How rarely did that happen, or frequently?
I mean, the worst thing I ever saw happen, we were sailing in quite close formation, 3 ships for protection. We were exporting acid resistance metal products to Blingdenstone, and this thing came out of the water and just took 1 ship in a bite. That's the biggest thing I ever saw. But luckily it only ate 1 ship. It seemed to be full after that. But there are...
That's the sort of thing that we couldn't defend against.
No, you would know, but very briefly. I think it would be a quick death. There are all sorts of things. The main threat is Kuatoa and Mero, probably. There are a number of rays that you always see them in the water. They are very luminescent. You can see them. So if ever we are sailing and you see these lights in the water, you need to tell us. We do have whales as well, but they are generally quite gentle creatures, and if you have a clever person who can talk with such creatures, then they can give you a great deal of information. I had a friend who could do such a thing. He was in touch with nature and such. Either that or he was completely bullshitting us. But either way, it was interesting.
Is it that do the whales speak a language between themselves? I'm wondering whether Stool might be able to help.
I mean, I assume it's a language, but it's like very long. They kind of go like over a long time. So
Conversations take quite a while.
Yeah, I think so. And you have to kind of put your head in the water and stuff, I think.
Well, captains,
So Droden wants the open water and I want the tunnels. The issue with co-captaincy. I can be... I appreciate the expediency that the open water offers as well.
I think we could be. I think if we go the open waterway that Droden is suggesting, Captain, sorry, with respect, I think we could get there maybe 2 days. The tunnels, 2 to 3 days, depending on if there are any blockages and such. But similar timescale, slightly longer in the tunnel, but less path less trod, shall we say, whatever the sea version of that is.
Actually, if we do come across any other ships that are friendly, we could ask them about the Society of Brilliance and whether they've been seen.
That's a good idea, Captain. I'd vote for that.
Don't you have means of contacting people you have met? Like, I'm pretty sure Captain Droden is a wizard. They're usually good at talking to people at distance.
Unfortunately, I don't have that ability at the moment, though it is of particular interest to me.
I can shout orders into your brain from 120 feet away.
I can do something similar as well, actually. I forgot about that. I forgot I was telepathic.
That's a good quality for a captain.
I can communicate with creatures that I'm aware of.
I can shout.
I can do it at a greater distance.
It
And without
sounds like Malice can do this.
We've got to be very careful as to the length and quality of the message. I believe that if I contact them, they'll be able to respond, and it would not surprise me if they themselves have the ability. If we are to parlay with them,
And would you?
we want to be careful.
Yes, I was going to say we want this item from them, but were they not seeking the same thing? As such, how would we go about such a message, and what is the outcome? I mean, the outcome we want is the other part of the sword, but how do we
Sure, that is the outcome they wish for as well.
Precisely my point, Captain.
Perhaps directly messaging them is not a good idea, but learning of their whereabouts or direction if possible and prizing them is a better approach. Also, I've just remembered I have clockwork scarabs which can send messages to people.
Are these What did you say his name was? Gravlax? Isn't that kind of a fish dish?
Gracklstugh.
Oh, are they foes then?
Potentially. Isn't everyone?
It is the Underdark, but some people are friendly.
Well, it is an illithid that didn't eat my brain immediately. So it is.
That's because he liked your brain.
I feel like if an illithid likes your brain, they would be inclined to eat it sooner.
Yeah. Do you think he liked it in a salt and pepper way, or more of a, oh, that's an interesting brain right there?
Yeah,
I
maybe
think-
if he's really interested, maybe you're like a unique dish and he wants to fill it with more knowledge and make it all plump and juicy and wet, and that's when he'll eat it.
I don't like this concept, and also you've just killed Hazel.
What is a brain if not wet?
It's just not a sentence I want to hear.
This conversation got very weird. I'm sorry.
It did.
We missed the opportunity to look around and ask questions in the dock as to the whereabouts of these society, but now we know that Malice has this ability. Perhaps we could get in contact with the port authorities or the captain of the guard and ask if they are aware of when and if they departed Gracklstugh.
Well, that's the thing. When we met with them, it wasn't actually in Gracklstugh.
Oh,
We
okay.
met with them in the corpse of a giant
Yes.
creature at sea and by the Lost Tombs.
We didn't meet them, but they got there before us.
Yeah, so that's the only two places. So they seem to prefer being at sea. I can't remember them or there being any sign of them in Gracklstugh, but I could, if it'll take a day or two to get to Neverlight Grove, could definitely message the captain and ask if she knows anything about it.
I think it would save time if you're willing. If they do know anything, if the captain does know something, then it would save us some time after we've dropped dear Stool home.
I think this is a good plan. You have a lot of resources, but they may be needed during the day, but probably less so whilst we're sailing. If you have any left at the end of the day, if you could send a message to the captain.
Of course, I'll need to deal with the doll. And then I can message the captain later on or tomorrow if need be. As long as my concern is just if at any point on open water we do come under attack. We need to be prepared.
What is this doll made of?
Pretty sure when I saw it, it looked like porcelain. Yeah, and they smashed it to bits, and the next day it was back.
We can
Oh my
show
goodness.
you, Serdi, if you're that interested.
I was just trying to think if we could burn it or dissolve it in acid or something.
I have hopefully an idea for what can be done.
But you can't do that today.
Can do that today.
Oh,
Let me
okay.
just check my. Just at the moment we're talking, and it seems a little bit rude to wander off.
No, we could go do that now if we've decided we'll brave the open water. Then Hemith can start plotting our way. I did have a couple more questions, Hemith. Is there anything that you think we could do to this ship that would put off raiders?
I mean, we could try and put some things on the side to make it harder to climb up and to board, but I don't know. I mean, Captain Drody made a good point. It is a Kuatoa ship, so we may be avoided more because they often do not have anything valuable unless they have stolen it. So, it's true. I don't know the Kuatoa villages around here. There's a few, but over by Neverlight, I don't know.
This we got a symbol, didn't we, from sorry, this is to DM from Captain Blackstaff, like something that said we were like
you were basically
citizens or whatever.
You basically all got given citizenship, which is like extremely rare for non-Dwegar. In fact, it's pretty much unheard of.
But that wouldn't have much track out here on the sea to say we're like representatives of Gracklstugh.
It would with other Dwegar.
Okay. But again, back to Hemith. Could saying that we are representatives potentially intimidate anyone that might want to attack us, in that they, if attacking us, would incite vengeance from a much larger power?
I mean, very true. Kuatoa, no, they don't give a whatever the Underdark equivalent of a monkey is. I didn't think that through, did I? They don't care. I mean, the gnomes of Blingdenstone are generally very friendly and decent people. They are hardworking, like Dwegar. I respect them a great deal, and they will probably not attack us. It is the drow, and I am no expert on drow. I would probably defer to Captain Drodin and Malice. I don't know your title. I apologize. Surgeon General, are you?
Just Malice.
Just Malice. But
titles are questionable.
I'm sure they are not. So I don't know about drow, whether they would attack or not, and how. I guess it depends what drow it was.
And
Ships
what their purpose was.
Yeah.
Ships tend to carry flags that indicate who they are from a distance.
Some do, yes. You will often see the drow ships will have a flag with bioluminescent dye on it, so you can see it with dark vision from a great distance.
If I remember correctly, and considering the other ships that we've seen in the dock, have slightly different construction. The drow are ones for showboating, shall we say?
Yeah, I think that's fair. Many of the ships I have seen are bigger than this one, with black powder weapons, which I am very fearful of. They would rip through us in no time.
A definite threat, but the point is, we would see them coming.
Potentially. And then if these goblins can work well, and you can all work well together, we might escape. But if they have a bigger ship. I mean, you're making me think now. Perhaps in the tunnel, if we came across ships with dark powder, we would have more chance of avoiding being shot at, because they must come aside. But likewise, we are stuck then, and we have nowhere to go. There is no perfect answer here.
Now, would you say that we are quite a speedy ship, or are we a standard speed?
No, we're not speedy.
In comparison to the larger, more laden drow ships?
We are probably a little slower.
So in open water, we can be outrun, outflanked.
Outgunned and outmanned.
That was what I was thinking. Um,
I mean, it's comparable. I mean, obviously you can. We only have one sail, and they may have 2, maybe 3, depending on the size of the ship. You take out the sail, you take out the ship. But likewise, they take out our sail, they take out the ship.
If we come up against raiders, they will just want what we have. If we come up against drow, they might know who we are. They will hold a grudge. It will not just be ransacked, and we will not just be killed. They will take us, all that escaped, and they will take anyone working with us, and they will not be kind, and there will be no mercy. We cannot risk a fair fight with them.
If we're just worried about the drow that are following you, then the risk is the same no matter which way we take, is it not?
No.
Because if we get confronted by that ship, they can confront us as easily in the tunnels or on the open water.
But in the tunnels, if they are restricted by the size of the tunnels, if they're behind us, they cannot overtake us. If they are in front of us, then we have, being a smaller ship, slightly more agility, and as Heather stated, they will not be able to flank us or about ship in a way that they could then fire upon us. We would just have to be careful of being boarded. And if we are boarded, then we can at least limit the amount that are able to get onto the ship. And it might give us more of a fighting chance. Open water, they can overtake us, they can have backup, they can flank us, they can board us and fire at us. Thinking about it logically, I must say I prefer our chances in the tunnels.
Captain Drodin? You are muted.
I am indeed. I'm willing to concede going through the tunnels.
Do you just think it would be safer?
It was my initial instinct, but Hemeth is right. There is no real right answer.
No.
We need to think about what our greatest threats are. The drow, and it's not just the ones that are actively hunting us. If another ship was to come upon us, I'm sure that our descriptions have gone out to the other outposts, and we're very opportunistic.
I would argue that we'll eventually have to deal with open water either way. If this way we can avoid it this couple of days, why not?
Yes, it might give us a chance to, at a later date, better equip the ship. See if we can do anything about increasing its speed. Give ourselves a fighting chance.
I'm getting more confidence in you all as a crew. I am glad to see you thinking this through. I mean, do you have anyone in your crew who has particularly good eyes?
Levitar.
Very good. So we should probably see if we are being followed. You seem very certain that we will be followed, and I'm curious why this is.
Have we not told you?
I know you were escaped from a drow prison of some kind, but you think they're looking for you all the way out here? I know where Velkenvelv is. That is probably a week away from here. Plus,
Malice, they hold a grudge.
Why? What did you do to them?
The fact that we escaped is more than enough for our certain torture and slow, excruciating, vengeful death. By escaping, it was an act against them.
I don't want that. I'd like to die quick, being eaten by a massive sea beast and not even know it happened, or, dying in a fight quite quickly and then being pushed in the sea with a rock tied to me after.
Not like to grow old and die quietly in your seat.
Ugh, sounds terrible.
Just checking.
And I wish just to die on my own terms, and at the hands of a drow is not within that remit.
Can I just say that I have met Drow, and you two are nice.
You can say it, they're fucking weird.
Well, they're very weird, but they're kind of... You're not massive dicks, and many of the Drow I have met were, like, not nice people. But you are reasonable.
It'll, at least for myself, I don't want to lull you into the false sense of security that I am nice. There is I need you, all of you, to be able to survive at the moment. It is a pragmatic decision. And I must say I do like pragmatism.
Any Dwegar appreciates pragmatism too, so we have something in common.
We love you too, Malice.
Oh, do not say such a strange and odd thing.
Sorry to interrupt the everyone loving, but talking of pragmatism, can you see the lights? Is it a light? Is that a ship light? Hemeth, or is that something else? Well, point.
It looks like fire to me. Low to the water. So I don't think a ship now.
Is it on the shore? Which
No,
side?
that is open water there. Open water. We have some time before the tunnels, probably half a day. Do we?
Is that in that direction?
Yes. Do we wish to go dark? We have the drift globe on. We could turn it off.
Well, we can most certainly turn off the drift globe.
I think it might
At
be
the very least.
perhaps take a little more time to go round whatever did that.
Okay.
That's my recommendation.
Give me a perception check, anyone that wants to, really. I'm going to leave the light on just so that the stream aren't looking at a black piece of sea with nothing in it. Nice. Oh, Steve's here.
He's been here for a while.
Okay. Serdi and Sev, I don't think anyone's rolled quite high enough. You can all make out this something low to the water. Almost looks like a bonfire or burning. It looks like several bonfires. Serdi and Sev, you look out and you can see what looks like a bunch of rafts, all quite close to one another. Some of them seem to be on fire. They're just sort of drifting. Serdi, you can see, it's hard to make out, but with that roll, you see there's a number of fires, there's embers drifting off, and a number of what look like bodies on these rafts. Small.
Some people are in trouble there, or it's too late. I think there are figures on those rafts around the fires. You couldn't hear you, Peter.
Do we help them or do we go around?
What does the manual say?
My primary concern is everyone's safety. Can you see any sign of what set those rafts on fire?
You can't see anything else other than a number of quite small rafts just drifting. bumping into one another. There doesn't appear to be a ship or any other shapes in the water.
Does it
Nope.
look like it happened recently? Are the fires dying down?
Some of them look, now you're looking at them, some of them look big-ish, size of a bonfire. So probably within the last half hour or so.
How far away?
Probably about a mile or two, but it's hard to tell at sea.
I think if we were to investigate Serdi, this looks less of a rescue mission and more of a investigation scavenging mission.
As long as whatever did it is far enough away, that's my only concern. But we'll have to wait until we get closer to sea, I guess.
Any survivors could give us some useful information on what caused it. Maybe help us avoid it.
Feels like if there's a chance of survivors, we ought to try and do something, but
Your orders, captains?
I say, investigate, but approach
With-
as stealthily as the ship can.
And with caution. Obviously.
Okay.
As cautious as a ship can be.
Very well.
Ju-
We'll
Just on
go.
the table, we will have slept before we've set off on this.
You've all had a
journey, right?
full rest. Yeah, you're starting with full rest, long rest.
Just making sure I've got my correct spells prepared.
Very well, Captain. We will extinguish the drift globe. And he signals, and one of the goblins throws a sheet over it, and it goes dark. So if you don't have dark vision, I'm afraid it's very dark now, and all you can see is these orange lights in the distance, a few miles away.
Sev will shimmy up to the crow's nest and stay there on general lookout if anything approaches. But I know it's quite far away, but
Okay,
for what it's worth,
I'll give
for
you
what it's worth, he's up
advantage.
there.
So you can roll again if you like with advantage.
I'll go to the
Okay.
prow
From
and
the
do the
crow's
same
nest.
thing. A look out. So I'll see Seb going up to the crow's nest. So I'll head to the prow with Ambrose and look out over the prow.
Sure. Nice. Yes, Sev, with that roll, as you climb the crow's nest and look out across the dark water with your dark vision, it's hard to make out, but the light of the fires is enough. You can see with that incredible roll that it looks like a series of rafts that were probably one huge raft. There's like remnants of little huts on it. There's a number of sails where would have been the front. It looks like almost like a little village on a raft that was all tied together, and it has been burned and broken. You can see some of the sails are broken. You can see a number of small corpses, probably about the size of Serdi, lying on various rafts. You can actually see some floating in the water. And you can see that, some of the fires actually look like they are a contained fire in a fire pit of sorts, and others look like the rafts have caught fire. You can see no real movement. You can see no real sign of anything else, just these bodies and these rafts.
I'll pass that on to everyone on the ship and ask if it's rings any bells with anyone, if that's familiar with perhaps some of the natives that might know what that is or who they are.
Tom, you would probably know that kobolds are known to sail around on little raft villages on the Dark Lake.
Getting a horrible feeling. This might be my people. Or at least not my tribe, but a tribe.
Well, maybe we are in time and we can help them, Mr. Serdi.
Servitor, it looks safe to...
I don't see anything else at the moment. Nothing, no other movement. It's difficult to see without the light, but from what I can see, safe.
get
Cap-
close
Captain,
enough and
I
get in the
suggest-
rowboat.
Yeah, I'll go to half speed. And we can get close. It takes a little while to get there at sea, but within half an hour, you are coming up to this area, and indeed you see this. It's like a series of rafts. They are battered and broken. You can see bits of. You can actually see a campfire with some food over it, still sort of cooking. Likewise, you can see a number of fires burning. You can see boats, little rowboats, floating, just drifting away. Some of them still moored, some of them not. And everywhere you look, there are kobolds, red-scaled. It looks like there's been some sort of struggle, but it looks like it was quick. What would
Can
you
I
like to
fly
do?
over the top and look for any survivors?
Okay, sure. Yeah, go for it. Show me where you want to go.
I cannot. Oh, now I can.
I mean, how high are you flying?
I don't want to get burnt.
Okay. Well, that part's not burning too badly. We can give me a medicine check with disadvantage if you're flying.
Because that's what that -1 needs.
Sorry. $12, not bad. Not bad at all, actually. From here, it's hard to tell. Most of them are not moving. You don't see them moving. Some of them are floating face down in the water, and you can see the blood seeping out, which makes you, even with that roll, you probably think that these probably died in the last, half an hour to an hour. And as it took you half an hour to get here, it probably was about an hour ago. There does appear to be one that you fly over, this one here, who he's got a huge backpack on. He's got bags and boxes and stuff, and although he is unconscious, he or she, it's hard to tell with the kobold, they are still bleeding, actively bleeding, which suggests
With my mediocre knowledge, I will attempt to staunch the bleeding, but before I do that, I will shout over at the boat, "Over here, survivor here. They need help. Bleeding."
I imagine that I'm just kind of seeing little Tink semaphore. Can I, before I get off the ship, to try and make my way? First of all, can I map out that there seems to be a way across?
I mean, if there is a way, there's a boat moored right close to your ship that you could jump across. Effectively, you need to stay on the rafts or swim, and it is difficult terrain. But yeah, you can just move.
Can I use, because this reminds me of a situation we've already been in. Before I get off the ship, I just want to use Eyes of the Grave and just know if any of the dead might not be the kind of dead that I'm used to.
Okay. Remind me what Eyes of the Grave does.
The location of any undead within 60 feet of you that isn't behind total cover, and that it isn't protected from divination magic until the end of your next turn.
Okay, and it's just undead.
Yes. I'm just thinking about the last time we found
You do not.
ship.
You do not. you scan out across all of the bodies, and you don't get that sense of necrotic energy. You think they are just dead.
I'm
Uh,
gonna head with
I-
Malice into the boat.
I just to make this quicker and easier for all of us, I think I'm going to cast Water Walk.
Okay.
Seb's gonna stay in the crow's nest. He's gonna scan the horizon, but also look for shapes under the water.
Okay.
Good
Um,
Okay.
man.
Good man. Yeah. Yeah.
So I think
Water
this
Walk.
is 10 creatures. So it will be anyone on the boat who will probably get off. So there'll be me, Serdi. Is Durandal?
He is.
No,
He is.
Yeah.
If you need
so
him to
Durandal,
carry a
Durandal.
person, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah, but I think there's between 10. It should cover all of us, and then I'm just wondering about like Eldif and a few of the others. But over I go, me and Serdi heading straight for where Tink has called us over.
While
Okay.
we're going, I shall trigger my primeval awareness,
Okay.
which will make me aware of any aberrations, celestials, dragons, elementals, fey, fiends, or undead within a mile of us.
Okay. And what does that look like? What is Serdi doing as he does this?
It's just kind of his ears are pricked up. He's kind of looking around and sniffing the air and kind of just being hyper aware.
Okay. So you sniff the air, and there is something foul within a mile. It's a smell like sulfur, fetid, and a sound, a weird droning, buzzing sound. It's far off, but it's getting louder. No one else seems to hear it.
Do I recognise the droning sound at all?
You do.
We need to be quick, Malice. If anyone else can hear that noise, something's coming, and it's of the abyss. I can smell it. I can hear it. We need to be quick.
And with that, I will start running, like rather than just carefully picking my way through, I'm running over to where the body is. Durandal, can you get the other remains onto the ship?
Remains people?
Yes.
You want me to collect the dead kobolds? Sure. Yes. No problem.
In case any of them maybe aren't completely dead.
I thought you wanted me to cook them. I was really starting to get a bit queasy. Yes, of course. No problem. Glad I'm not cooking them. And you see him sort of jump down onto the water, and it lands on it as if it's ground. This is very cool. And he will start
Eldif,
picking them up and putting them over his shoulder.
Eldif, do you think there might be anything within this that could be useful to us?
I don't know. Without searching around, I don't know what's down there. I can't see from up here.
Well, you can get down here.
Oh, can
Wood.
I?
Any undamaged wood? Let it dry out in case we need repairs.
Aye, not
Any
a
remnants?
bad idea.
Good call.
Aye, very good. Well, so I'll cut off the ones that are burning. I'll cut those away and push them away so they don't burn the bits we want, eh? If that's all right with you.
Please do.
I'm no good with.
Give me a
dead
medicine
bodies, so I'll
check,
help
please. Yeah, give me a medicine check because you did say you were trying to stabilize them. So give me a medicine check.
you. And 9.
They're just bleeding, heavily bleeding. This person's gonna die. You're pretty sure. So everyone, what would you like to do? Let's go around, everyone. So, Jamie.
Me and Freddie aiming just so I can.
Yeah.
What the fuck? So
Ooh.
I'm looking at all of this carnage. What the fuck? I've just found another one of myself. I don't know why that's there.
There's two of you.
Yes. Well, there was. Yes. Yeah. I suppose for the time being, well, all I can do is try and skip my way over onto this little makeshift area that everyone else has found. And all of the kobolds are fucking dead, so I'm just going to start hauling arse and trying to look for anything that is salvageable.
Okay.
I will take I'll go down this way.
Yeah, investigation check for me.
Oh, I'm supposed to be good at those.
So I hear. Okay. The first thing that strikes you is there are crossbow bolts everywhere, and actually the dead kobolds have crossbow bolts in them, and you recognise those crossbow bolts as drow. And some of them are indeed sticky on the end, which suggests probably poisoned as well.
Hello, I see a book over there. I will shout that over. Some of these kobolds appear to have been crossbowed by a drow, but ideally we shouldn't hang about all the same. And then I'm going to start heading for that lovely book I can see.
Okay. Fair enough.
Guys, there's something up directly above us on the ceiling. Can anybody else see that?
Look. And sniff.
You can make movement out. I mean, yeah, you've got good eyes, but Sev's eyes are really good. You can see something. The ceiling in this cavern, because it's the Dark Lake, is extremely high, but it does look like there's just some sort of movement on the rocks above, like something scuttling across the rocks.
Everyone, this is what I think it is. I mean, I don't know exactly what they are, but I've seen something before, and it put me to sleep. The noise put me to sleep. So just plug your ears or something. If anyone can hear it, be careful. That's all I know.
If drow are around here, it could be spiders.
Rodin, if they're poisoned, does that mean there's no, well, Drodin and Malice, no chance of helping any of them?
At this point, the dead are dead.
Durandil, stop picking up bodies, help pick up the salvageables, and let's just get that one body that is still bleeding out on board.
It seems
and
to
go.
be. Very good, yes. And he starts bounding, this huge quaggoth bounding across the water. This is brilliant. I love it. Picks up the little guy and runs back. Steve, do you want to do anything?
No, nothing came to mind really.
Okay. You're just keeping an eye out.
Yeah.
Yeah, Drodin, you grab the book, but there's no time to do it. Yeah.
Actually, I tell you what I will do based on Serdi's call is I'll just try and stuff the cloth of my shirt up into my ears.
Okay. No worries. Veronica, do you want to do anything?
I'm just going to supervise Eldif to get something salvageable, but just one thing, and back onto the ship.
Okay,
We're
yeah.
moving fast now.
You sort of cut loose a couple of the rafts and start walking, pulling them through the water towards the ship, some spare wood. Again, you see these crossbow bolts everywhere. It looks like they were absolutely peppered. Malice and Drodin, you would know that drow quite like to use sleep poison, but the amount of arrows in these kobolds, it suggests that it probably was something worse. Without investigating further, it's hard to know. Drodin, you grab the book, you start moving back. Sirdi, anything you would like to do?
All the crossbow. I was going to look to see if it was the things that I can hear that had done this, but I can tell by the crossbow bolts, I guess, that it's unlikely. So I'm going to look at the nearest body and see if I can find any tribal signature or anything on it, so I know where they came from. I'll try and find it. At least take it back to their tribe if we ever get the opportunity.
Okay, sure.
And then I head back to the boat.
Yeah, give me an investigation check. You can have advantage. Yeah, these kobolds are known as the floating claw. They effectively live on raft boats that they just sail across the Dark Lake. They don't live on land generally. They just fish and salvage and try and stay out the way of everyone. They're generally quite peaceful, if a little bit light-fingered. You find a little claw symbol carved out of some soft stone. And as you are looking at that droning noise, you realise is louder as Eldith and Tink are dragging the rafts onto the boat. The spare wood, and Drodin is making his way towards the boat. Content with a book in hand, you all hear it now. This weird buzzing, droning noise. And Sev, you see it first as you look up. You see this shape getting larger, descending, beginning to descend, and it catches just for a second in the firelight from these burning rafts. You see this weird four-legged but with two arms that may be legs creature with a weird bird-like head but with a huge pointy proboscis like an insect, and these huge transparent wings that are moving so quickly they're in a blur. You can barely see them. They are moving so fast, and these things are descending. Can everyone roll initiative for me, please?
Hey!
I will just
Really hoping to be able to heal that kobold.
Okay, the initiative should be appearing for you. Oh dear, who was that? Who rolled a 1?
Me.
Oh no. Oh, Tomothy.
Tomothy.
Oh no. Oh, it's gone and added all of the goblins and stuff, which I did not want to do. I will remove those. But okay.
And a light globe.
And a what, sorry?
And a light globe.
globe, yeah. Yeah. Oh, now I've just got Drodin in the initiative. What's going on?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
So well.
Do it again.
Oh, I'm so sorry, everyone. Yeah, do it again.
Can I keep my 19?
Yes.
I never rolled that well.
If you know what you got, I can add you back in.
Well, I got a 1, so we know that.
It's pretty hard to forget, isn't it?
I put Ambrose on as if he was on the boat, Matt.
Sure. Yeah, you should be able to drag him on.
Thank you.
Both Tink and Derendil had 7s around there.
Okay.
I had a 19 point something.
Excellent. Okay, so you had 19. So that puts you there. Sorry about this, everyone. There's always got to be at least one technical problem per night. Otherwise, it's not D&D, right? It's not online D&D anyway.
I rolled again, Matt just to get the tracker, but it dropped me down the bottom.
I'll drag you to the bottom. I guess Serdi was feeling moved and upset at finding, some of his people cut down and seemingly in a brutal and merciless way. He'd lost track of where these noises were coming from just for a moment. But it was enough. It was enough. So, is everyone in the order they think they should be in? Is there anyone that's wrong?
I'm above road and I think I should be below.
Okay.
Everyone, really. I think that's what I was rolled a 1. I had 3.14 was my score before.
Okay, that's easier.
And Darendil and Tinker, you've not changed them. They were around 7.
7. Oh dear. Not the most dexterous.
I am honest.
You are. I appreciate it. So, top of the round. These things are descending quite quickly. They are probably about 60 foot up at the moment, I would say. But descending quite quickly. What would you like to do, Sev? You are up first.
Okay. Does it... is the positions of everyone on screen accurate? So the furthest person away from the boat is Tink? Is that right? Am I seeing that right?
I'm on the boat. I'm here. I'm underneath.
She's on the boat. That is...
Oh, is that Malice?
It's Malice, yeah.
Malice. Okay. Is there any of those creatures that look like they're heading for Malice?
They are descending downwards and sort of coming down and towards the boat. So, yeah, there's every likelihood they are heading towards Malice.
Okay, well, whichever's the nearest one to Malice, and if there isn't, then I'll just pick one at random and I'll just fire an arrow the best I can. So I'll unsling the longbow from the back, knock an arrow, and just let one loose.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's a hit. Definitely.
Oh, nice.
Oh, let's change the music up, shall we? Five piercing damage. I would probably say this one is nearest. Your arrow flies out into the darkness, and once it's gone, you lose sight of it. It's gone into the darkness, and you're not sure whether it's hit or not. And then you just hear that telltale thunk of your arrow hitting something. Don't know how much it's done. It's hard to tell, but you definitely hit.
I will bonus action attempt to hide in the crow's nest.
Okay, yeah, give me a stealth check.
Sure.
Okay, nice.
Okay, that's me done. Thanks.
Okay, up next is... Let's begin the combat. Up next is one of these creatures. It is the one on the south of the map. It is moving at a hell of a pace. Unbelievably quickly. And it moves forward about 30 feet and drops 30 feet all at the same time. It is about 30 feet above Malice now, and you can see it really clearly now. It is a ugly creature, and Serdi, you have seen them before. You know what this is. You know it is not a good thing. I will show you what it looks like. It is an ugly creature. like a giant insect. The head is almost bird-like, but with this horrible pointed proboscis sticking out of its face, and a head of very human-like hair. It is weird, ugly, and weird. Malice, as this thing flies above you and it gets within 30 feet, you just hear this horrible droning sound. It's like just completely engulfs your world. It is horrendous. Can you make me a Constitution saving throw, please? DC 12.
Nice.
You feel this drone. It's penetrating. It's like all encompassing. You feel yourself starting to wobble and sway, and then you're just, no, I won't. And you get your strength. You stand tall. There is no effect. Nice. And you're up. Malice is up.
So, just because I was running for the injured kobold as they start to descend, so could we say that in Darendil carrying the kobold past me, was the kobold unconscious?
It was, yeah. He's literally within your movement. He's just stood on the side of the boat with it. He's just literally climbing up.
I'm just wondering about, I've got bonus action at range, spare the dying as a cantrip.
Okay, yes, you can do that.
Yeah, gonna throw that just to make sure that we're not going to lose him anytime soon. And
Okay.
then I do not want to deal with these fuckers.
No, it is 30 foot up above you.
So I need to make sure it doesn't get any closer, and I'm gonna do a spell I don't think I've used yet. So I'm gonna go for Spirit Guardians. So
I hate that fucking spell.
out of like the messed up makeup and kind of pouring out of like her hair and her nails and just parts of her, these spores start to seep and leak out of her and starts to swirl, like kind of reminiscent of like a disgusting iteration of what Stool does, and that starts spinning around.
Nice.
So let's just make sure I've got the.
Yeah, click the template.
For some reason, it's not following my. No, there we go. So it wasn't following my mouse.
Okay, yeah. That is that 20 foot 20 foot radius?
A 15-foot sphere.
15-foot sphere. So it extends up above you. Doesn't quite reach the creature yet, but everyone can see this weird shifting fungal sort of energy just like moving around you with increasing speed. Would you like to move?
Yes, I would. So I am going to get to there and try and use like 5 foot of movement to start climbing into the boat.
Sure. Yeah, it's not that hard to climb it with. You've got water walk. And in fact, there's slight waves. You can sort of time it as the waves higher and just grab on.
Okay.
Okay, you climb out.
That's it.
Okay, nice. As you climb out, the other one of these things, you see it again. It's sort of flying down and forward at the same time in this swooping arc, just coming straight down towards Serdi and Drodin, and it drops suddenly from 60 foot up to 30 foot up. It is above you both as you look down. The droning noise is horrendous. It doesn't just affect your ears, it's like it affects your sense of touch, your sight. Everything is just drowned out by this horrendous drone. So can you both give me a DC 12 con save, please? Whoa. And Serdi as well. Drodin, you feel you almost lose consciousness. Your vision goes black. You feel your knees starting to buckle. That weird pins and needles feeling in your fingers and hands, and then you just shake yourself as this thing is looming over you, and stay up somehow. You stay up. Serdi, likewise, you've seen these things before. You know what to expect. You brace yourself, you tense, and you ride out this horrendous droning noise. You stay conscious too.
Pause. I was checking to see if Favored Enemy gave me anything with saving throws. It doesn't. So.
Oh, that's a shame. Derendil. What would you like to do with Derendil?
You skipped me.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I did. Sorry. Go for
It's
it.
quite all right.
Drodin.
Well, I would like to take the immediate response of just looking at Serdi and going, I'm terribly sorry. I can only do this with one person, and you're hardier than I am. I'm going to Misty Step onto the boat.
I can't say I blame you, really.
Bye-bye.
I did not have the time to cast Mage Armor.
Wizards.
You were like, ooh, books and such.
Yes, now I am books and such. And I can see me too.
Yeah, it's awesome little animation. Yeah, you said you see Drodin almost like black out. He almost falls, and then there's just like this weird swirl of energy, and he's on the boat.
Sorry. And then I would like to throw a firebolt at that bloody thing.
Sure.
Oh, never mind.
Let me just check. I don't think it's enough.
I would be surprised.
Yeah, it's not. I don't know what I checked. I was just trying to be kind. Yeah, you're still getting your senses back. You feel dizzy. You feel strange. You've got pins and needles, and your aim is just off. Just disappears off into the darkness. But as it does, the firebolt disappears off into the darkness. You see something else flying in the sky. Another shape. This one's different though, but again, the light's gone as quick as it comes up. You're not sure what it is. Anything else from you, sir? Any movement?
Bugger. And all I'll do is I will move down to this side of the boat where everyone is clustered together slightly less.
Don't stand in a line, everyone.
Yes, that's true. I'll stand here. I did have to learn that the hard way.
I do like it when you line up. Okay, good turn. Derendil.
Well.
He will start by saying, I think now is pertinent time to say, perhaps you should give me some ranged weapons for in the future. How much movement would it be to get off the boat?
If he's just dropping off onto the water, I'll let him just
jump.
He'll just jump, yeah.
Oh, God. He can get into melee. Hello. Nice.
Well, it is 30 foot up, so he can get very close to it.
He can get very close to it.
Yes. But he is going to have to make he's going to have to make a Constitution saving throw.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't. He didn't start his turn, so that's fine. He is fine. He will do next. He will need to next time.
Fine. He's a conny boy. I guess he will hold his claw attack for it being within range.
Okay. Yeah, he makes ready. He's waiting for this thing. It is flying down at quite a speed, and he braces, ready to rip up into it with his claws. And that brings us to Tink, with Eldith and then Serdi up next.
First up, bonus action. God. Okay, so you're a Sorlock, so you have to cast this spell at level 2. So I'm going to cast Hex on... We'll go for the one threatening my friends at the moment.
Okay.
And then I will use, with my main action, fire a couple of Eldritch Blasts.
Eldritch Blast.
Do more damage when you cast it at second level. That's upsetting.
Don't know. Don't know if you can do that, can you? Maybe.
No, it only goes up. It doesn't go
Yeah.
up. That's annoying.
No, I don't think it will.
Great.
Yeah.
Sorry, had to check. First Eldritch Blast.
It is a
15.
hit. It
Oh, it's whenever I hit it, so I can...
yeah. It banks slightly and you almost miss.
I just did. Okay,
And then
well,
the second one slams into it as well, yeah. You just catch it, but it's a close hit. Second shot, you predict where it's going.
So, first one... It's a total of 12. That splits into 9 force, 3 necrotic.
Okay. Slams into it. You see this blue-black ichor drip out of it.
Good rolls.
Good rolls,
10,
yeah.
3 necrotic.
The droning sound almost stops for a split second and then takes up again as you strike it. They're good solid blows. You definitely hurt the thing.
And they make good points. I'll just take a step back.
Play.
It's me.
Okay, Eldith is up. I don't know who wants to control Eldith, what you want her to do. She has got a short sword and a shield. She is making her way back to the boat. Probably starting to climb up, I imagine.
Hold a melee attack once she's safe. I don't know.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah. Sev, you sort of shout for her to take a defensive position, and she gets her shield close to the edge of the ship and has her short sword ready to stab forward. She will move up slightly to give her back coverage. And then last, but by no means least, Serdi Demas.
I shall use my bonus action to cast Hunter's Mark on the one that's above me.
Okay.
And then I will just pull up the phlegm from the back of my throat and spit acid splash at it.
Okay.
Oh,
Let's have a
I
look.
don't know why I rolled the damage straight away.
I don't know. I might have installed something to try and speed things up, but it might have. Let's have a look.
2-1.
There's a DP's 14 dex save.
You take a big and spit this acidic glob at this thing, but it just seems to spin in the air and it sails past, unfortunately.
I'll just yell up at it. Come down here and fight me, you beast! I'll send you back to where you belong!
You do need to give me a DC 12 saving throw, please, because you started your turn as well. Stay awake, stay awake, stay awake. You spit, come down here, you beast, and then you just go, ooh, and feel yourself falling.
Not again.
And
Help
you
it
just,
again.
it all goes black. The last thing you see is this blurry vision of this thing over you, and then nothing. You're out. You're unconscious. I'm really sorry. And with that, 2 more shapes are flying in. Lower this time, quite close to the water. These weird, clawed, scrawny, skinny, stretched things with huge vulture wings and a weird bird-like head with a horrendous-looking beak and hair. You would all recognise this as the demonic creatures you saw in Velkenvelv as you escaped. You know them as Vrock. And I shall show you a picture. It's beaked yet has teeth. Its claws are as long as a normal person's arm. Weird feathered wings, 3-toed feet. And they are flying forward at quite a speed towards you all. So back to the top of the round. Sevatar, you're in the crow's nest. You're up. What would you like to do?
Pop my head out over the top, and I'm going to do a sneak attack against the ones.
Please do. Let me just...
So, comes the longbow.
I should say, because you're so high up, I will... You're probably about the same height. No, you're higher, actually. I will give you advantage.
I probably should have rolled with advantage anyway, because
you were hidden. Yeah. Oh, that's better. Yeah, roll damage.
Okay. And roll for snake. Oh my god. You've installed a special mod.
Yeah.
Did you just get 3 wands? Oh, well, I mean, it does not see the arrow coming and just thunks into it just below the wings, a little bit higher, and you might have taken a wing out, but you definitely see this blue-black ichor leaking out of the thing, and there's a kind of high-pitched squeal that just about breaks your hearing behind the drone, but it's gone in a split second. Anything else you would
silently
like
curse
to do?
under my breath and duck back down again.
Okay. Yeah, give me a stealth roll if you're going to hide.
Okay.
And we will go to... Oh, it's go. It surveys the scene. There's Derendil braced, waiting to attack, but there is also Serdi unconscious, sleeping on the ground, and it decides the best thing to do is go for the one that is conscious, the one that is dangerous, and it lunges down at Derendil and just flies straight at him with this huge proboscis.
May I equal claw as my held action?
You may. Please do. That's a terrible roll.
I'm
And that is
glad
also...
for it. Did we not get him armor? 13. Sorry.
It's alright, I rolled 9.
Did we just get him a hat?
But I think you got him a coat. Yeah, you could have got him armor. That would have been the sensible thing to do, but I mean, the hat looks cool, so it's all good. It's all good.
So obviously that's the right choice.
So this thing swoops down and lunges at Derendil, who tries to claw it, but both seem to try and dodge the other, and neither hits. There is no collision. There is no damage from either side. Malice, you're up.
what height is the creature now at?
It is basically landed, and it is on the deck of the raft, attacking Darendil. Sudi is unconscious.
And the saving throw, is that for a magical effect?
Are you within 30 feet of it? Let's have a look.
Yes, or I will be.
It is a weird droning effect. It's not a magical effect though, no.
So my Fey ancestry doesn't, where it won't, magic can't put me to sleep, doesn't count for this.
It does not, unfortunately. It's not sleep.
Oh. And it was a con saving throw?
Con save, DC 12 to stay conscious. Oh.
Oh noes.
Oh no.
And that is at the start of the...
Who cast Water Walk?
Me.
You did.
It's not concentration.
Oh yeah, no, concentration isn't, but my spirit guardians is, so that's...
Okay. You see Malice, the spirit guardians, this weird fungal thing swarming around her, and then suddenly she just blinking and trying to... It's almost like she can't tell what direction anything is in, and you just see the fungus just disperse and her drop to the ground unconscious. She is fallen on the water, and it is a really weird sight, 'cause she's lying on top of it, and the waves are gently lapping, and she's moving up and down, but she's lying on it like it's solid. It is the strangest thing. I'm so sorry.
That's what it is.
Don't say it unless you mean it, Matthew.
Oh, you know me, I hate missing a turn, so I hate other people missing a turn as well. I think it's mean.
And yet you included these creatures.
I know. You can be woken, though. And with that, the other one is 30 foot up. It begins to swoop down. Moves 35 foot forward. Or it would if I didn't have the ruler selected. It dives again to the edge of the ship. And then sits probably about 10 foot up above the fine folk at the bottom of the ship. So could Tink, Sev, Drodin, and Eldith, and I will do the goblins, please make a DC 12 con saving throw.
The goblins!
Yeah, I'll do the goblins.
Do I get any bonus for the cloth tucked into my ears?
Oh, I'll give you advantage.
Hey, what a
I
legend.
missed Thomas.
There he is. Okay.
I assume beating of their wings creates the droning sound.
It is the wings, yes. So
I like to think that I equally go even faster and make a high-pitched...
Tink and Sev, you're okay. You're conscious. Drodin.
I'm really tired, Oliver.
Oh, did you roll 8?
Yeah.
Drodin drops. He just... It's not asleep. It's just like his eyes roll back in his head. And
Protect my new book.
Yeah, that sounds like something he would say. Eldith. I am going to give Eldith that opportunity attack that you suggested. Oh no, it's 10 foot.
Nice.
It's 10 foot up, isn't it? She can't reach it. And she goes down too.
Jump, Eldith.
She's just out. And with that, it is unfortunately the Vrok's turn. Just gets worse, doesn't it? And this thing will be flying. They're not as quick. You can see it coming. It is definitely not as quick. And it's flying about 5 foot above the ground. And it gets to about there. I'm going to have it dash. That's as far as it can get, dashing. Comes lunging forward. Drodin, I think you can make a con save at the end of your turn to wake up, or do you need to be woken? A creature that can't hear the drone automatically... the effect on the creature ends if it takes damage or another creature takes an action to splash it with holy water. That's a weird one.
I don't think we have any of that.
So, yeah, if someone does damage to you, you can be woken. Or if Malice is also out, has got... Nasty.
Someone's
Sorry.
going to have to step on my face.
Yes, Derendil's
Oh
up.
no. So that one's in melee with us, but he's down. I'm gonna make Derendil take a step towards Serdi and
Yeah.
up. I think he'd do a rather polite tap with his foot and say, "Come on, old boy." See that doesn't work, and look around and give him a proper kick. And I guess that's a no, he doesn't have that.
It's an unarmed attack. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is an auto hit. He's unconscious. I'm not going to make you roll. Just roll damage.
What would it be for an unarmed attack?
It should be on his character sheet.
No, he's just got claw.
It'll be 1 plus his strength modifier, so it'll be 4.
1
unfortunately.
plus
3, 4.
Yeah.
And it can be non-lethal because he's not.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's non-lethal. So Serdi, 4 points of damage, but you are awake.
Oh, Derendil, it's you.
Fall asleep on the job, old boy.
These pesky things.
That's his action, isn't it? And I guess he has to do the con save.
He can use his other. I think he's got 2 attacks, so he can use his other
Got 2
attack.
attacks.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh yeah, he
Very
should have done. He should have done the con
Like
save. But...
Do you want me to? I'll do it now
Yeah,
because
yeah.
that could reverse. But he's a strong boy. No, and he's not. He's not a strong boy.
Okay, he is out. Wow. This is not going well.
I'm sleeping. I'm still asleep, I guess.
Yeah, they're just having a nap together now.
I always wanted to go quietly in my sleep.
Oh no. These things are not that bad, but they're really bad. Tink.
Derendil's quite big. As he falls asleep, could he fall on Serdi?
On Serdi.
Do you know what? I'm going to allow that. I'm going to allow that because
Wait, he's got to get out from under Derendil.
he's going to land on him for 4 points of damage, though. So yeah, 4 points of damage, and yeah, you're woken up by a crushing weight.
Come underneath Derendil.
What are you doing, Tink?
Oh, me. Hello.
Yeah, oh yeah, it's going. It's bad. There's people unconscious everywhere. Malice is out. I think Drodin is out. Eldith is out. Weirdly, the 2 goblins are up. And then you just see Serdi wake up by getting fallen on by Derendil.
I'm going to Eldritch Blast to make use of this hex against the one that is facing Derendil and Serdi.
Okay.
First one will go to that one. Fail.
Okay.
But second one.
Second one. Got high hopes for the second one.
Will
Come on,
go
second
to
one.
Drodin. Wake up, Drodin!
Oh no. Roll damage. I think that hits him.
Does it?
Does it?
Well, technically, if he's
Yes, it
unconscious, You probably have disadvantage because he's prone. So roll again, in case you miss.
Oh, disadvantage. Okay.
Yeah, he's prone, so he's harder to hit. I thought that was a 1 then.
No, that's even better.
Yeah, sorry, 7 points of
So-
damage, Drodin, but you're up. You're awake. Well,
I'm
you're
not.
not up, you're down, but you wake up to this force blast in your side. You look up and this thing is hovering about 10 foot above you.
Ah! Oh, ah!
I think that's a good reaction, yeah. Anything else, Tink?
Yeah, just to help with that reaction, I'm going to bonus action Form of Dread. So that will give me 1d10 plus 3 temp hit points,
Yes.
and want to. If you
Wisdom
hit a
saving
creature,
throw.
okay, so it doesn't have to do it because I've not hit it.
Okay.
But what Drodin will see is you'll see Tink sort of like press some metal bits under her chin and remove the metal plating on her face, so it's just raw flesh.
Nice. Well, not nice.
Suddenly it just becomes like, ah! Ah!
Yeah, it's just not a good way to wake up. I don't care who you are.
It's not melee with me, is it? So I can back off even more.
Yes, yeah, back away. Okay.
Oh crap, was I meant to do the con save? Why can't I move?
I thought
Is
you
it
did.
not there?
Was I looking at the wrong roll? I thought you
I
did.
think it was- I'm sorry, I keep forgetting.
Well, I saw a number. I took that, but
Oh, for goodness sake!
I'm gonna have that. I'm gonna let that happen because we've done it now. But as you begin to move away, you just go. You drop out. Now Drodin can get revenge and blast you back. Serdi, you're up.
Right. So I'm awake and under there, and
You are.
I concentrate before I do anything else.
I'm not going to do. No. You've just woke up. I don't think that's reasonable.
Okay. In that case, I'm sorry about this, old boy. And I'm just gonna yank out a couple of bits of Darendil's hair as an attack to try and wake him up. But I'm also then going to try and shove the hair in my ear.
Okay. Yes. I shall allow that. You can do that as one of your attacks if you like.
Thank you.
Nice. What's your unarmed damage? It'd be 1 plus whatever your strength bonus is.
Yeah, 5 points of damage.
Okay. Yeah, you rip it. There's blood on this hair as you shove it in your ears. But you sort of seem to go, oh! Sort of
Sorry,
wakes
chap.
up very, very quickly, and you now have weird white quaggoth hair in your ears.
And then if I can, I'll pull myself up out of him and just. Is the other one low enough, or is it low enough?
It is low, yeah. It's stood on the raft at the moment.
Oh, then I shall thrust my spear at it.
Go, do it. It's a hit.
I shall have another D6 on that because Ambrose will use his reaction to
Sure.
put D6 acid on top.
Okay, go for it. Nice. It is better. It's looking bad now. It's starting to this ichor is oozing out of it more violently. It is not looking in a good way. Anything else? Any movement or anything?
No, I will stand to face this creature from the abyss.
With the hair in your ears
Yeah.
No.
There he is. There's all of us when we get to a stage.
Yeah, well, it does happen. Yeah, it comes to us all. I bet Veronica and Hazel are like, I hope not.
I assume it hasn't happened to you yet because you have famously hot ears.
That's because I have famously hot earphones.
It's all the hair keeping them warm.
It is. These earphones are made of. They're made of quaggoff hair, so it makes them very warm. We're back to the top of the round. We have Malice unconscious. We have Tink unconscious. We have Eldith unconscious. And Sev, you are in the crow's nest. You can hear the sound, but you're not as affected by it with the cloth in your ears. What would you like to do?
So is there a con save to make?
Yeah, yes, there is, but you have advantage on the roll.
Okay.
Because I'm guessing that you can hear, even if it's not very well. I think that's a pass. It's 12. So yeah, the cloth really helps. You can still hear it, but it's not as bad.
Yeah. I'm going to shout to the goblins on the ship, anybody that's still awake, to try and rouse anybody that's sleeping. Just give them a slap.
Good call.
And then I will longbow again. Still going for the injured one. I want to try and get those two guys clear.
Yeah, go for it.
So, doesn't let me roll for advantage. So I'll roll it again.
Yeah, roll it again.
Oh, that's not very good either.
No. You fire,
No.
but Derendil is large, and as you're about to take the shot, you see Serdi rip out hair, and he just sits bolt upright, and you just have to adjust your shot at the last second so you don't shoot Derendil. And unfortunately, you just missed the Chasme as well.
Does my elven accuracy give me a third roll?
I don't know, does it?
Let's check. Got it here somewhere. Trying to. Whenever you have advantage on attack roll, you can re-roll one of the dice once.
There you go. Go for it then.
Clutching at straws, but I might as well.
If you've got it, use it. That's what it's there for.
Where is it? Oh my god!
No.
It was meant to be.
Whoa.
Let's move on.
Oh no, this is going wrong. Not for me, but I'm getting scared now. Who is awake? This Chasme it looks around, and Eldith is unconscious. She is an easy target, and it is going for her. Yeah, that's a hit. And you just see the proboscis it pierces through her like she's made of butter. It goes straight through her throat. There is a spurt of blood. She wakes up for a second, says something, but no words come out. There's no air. And then she's gone. Dead.
Dead or just dead?
The damage to her neck, she is dead. No death saving throws. She is dead. But that is all it can do this turn. Malice, you are awake. You just 1 point of damage as a goblin kicks you in the leg. And as you awake, this goblin looks terrified. Like it's just kicked a drow. It's never done that before in its life. What would you like to do?
Do I know if anyone in the crew or if any of our treasure contains diamonds?
I don't know. I don't know who's got diamonds. If someone has them, they have them. But if you've got one, you've got one. If there's any, it'll be in party funds, and I will allow you to say you have it.
Worth of diamonds.
There you go, 100 gold's worth. If that's enough, then yes. Sorry, I can't seem to turn your spirit guardians off. So you have got 100 gold's worth of diamonds. What's you thinking? Talk.
No, that won't work.
I've just realised we're a funeral barge.
Yep. And our cleric is more comfortable with the dead than the living, so not much she can do. But I do think.
I mean, you're aware that you're within. If you're within the drone, so you've just woke up. You probably want to get out of it.
Yeah. But she does like Elder.
Of course she does. She's an NPC.
Yeah. Bird. Oh, I don't know if that's a bird. That's lovely.
As a pet. But she's dead, and I need 300 gold for Revivify. So what I'm gonna do is I am going to bless, because I am useless at the moment. Derendil,
Okay.
Serdi, and
Yeah.
Sevatar, so they get a D4 to any attack rolls or saving throws.
Yeah.
And I am
Nice.
going to finish climbing into the boat. I'm
Yeah.
going to run to the other side of the boat, and I am just covering my ears and hoping for the best.
Okay. Okay. All right. It's a horrible situation that is unfolding. Eldith is, yeah, short of a miracle. There is no bringing her back. She seems to be down. This weird droning creature just lunges out. 1-2 Derendil, who is prone. 3-4 Serdi. What's your armor class, Serdi?
19.
You hear the shouts from the ship and the gasps, and you just glance quickly and just see Eldith pinned to the ground by the proboscis, and that really makes it sink in how terrifying this weapon is. As it lunges forward, you just sidestep gracefully, and the thing does not hit. But it is going to try and fly straight up. It does not fancy its chances with both you and Derendil, and it will buzz straight up 60 feet.
Attack of opportunity?
Yeah, if you want. Good luck. Hit. 1d4.
That was less.
Oh, okay. I was like, that's rubbish damage. I thought he was a bit tougher than that. Yeah, Serdi, you... Ooh, took a bit too much off there. Yeah, Serdi, you strike it with a spear right in the abdomen as it starts to fly up. And yeah, likewise, Derendil slashes it with the claws, ripping into it quite deeply. It's looking bad now. It's looking very bad. It is. The drone is quieter. It seems to be unstable in the air, and it's flying straight up a hell of a speed. You see this vulture creature flying forward as if it's looking for a target, for someone to hit, for something to attack. And then weirdly it realizes that it's flown too close to the Chasme. I can't believe I didn't realize I'd done that. But it's fine. But it's fine. It's fine. And it will... I think it's going to fly in here. And go for a goblin first of all. It does have multiple attacks, unfortunately. So it seems to grab at the goblin with its talons to try and pick it up. Which I think hits. I'm really sorry, I know you're going to run out of goblins if we're not careful. No, it misses. The goblin is a nimble little guy and just does a little roll to the side and gets out of the way. And then Malice, as you turn and run and duck and cover your ears, you just feel something move behind you and you hear the snap of this huge beak full of teeth, but it misses. And you're okay. For now. Drodin.
Well, I'm going to have to use my time to stand.
Half your movement, yes?
Yes, unfortunately, and I would really like to leave, but unfortunately I can't.
It is like 10 foot up, so it won't get an attack of opportunity on you. It doesn't have reach.
Ah, well, in that case, I'm going to move 15 feet over this way.
Yeah.
Would rummaging in my bag and trying to find something to plug my ears with be an action or a bonus action?
I'll let you do it as a bonus action. Now
Okay,
that you've seen others doing it.
I'm going to plug the shit out of my ears. And... Oh, fuck. I didn't... Things have moved and now my plan isn't going to work. So...
That's the blooming thing about D&D.
I know.
Moves.
I banked on this one thing working, and now it won't. I'm going to use Scorching Ray.
Oh.
And I'm going to cast it at 3rd level.
Oh.
And I'm going to use that lovely feature I get as an Order of Scribes wizard, where I'm going to change its damage type from fire to psychic because that's my character flavor.
Okay. Nice.
So I believe that's an extra ray I throw.
I believe so.
So I throw 4 rays of fire, doing 2d6 on. Well, it's 2 rays of psychic energy.
Hit.
4 rays into the 4A.
Ah, I like it. Oh,
Miss.
that's a miss.
That's a hit though. Oh.
Well, at least 2 hit.
2 hits. Yeah, roll damage.
So this is psychic damage instead of fire.
Okay.
Ooh. That's pretty good damage.
That's pretty nice.
21 psychic damage.
Excellent. Yeah, you just reach out with this scorching ray. I mean, what do they look like? A psychic scorching ray. What does that look like? Tell me.
I would almost like to imagine it doesn't look like anything because it's psychic, but that doesn't play very well in the mind. So
Well, there's probably a ripple in the air, like a weird,
Yeah.
like strange distortion.
A strange distortion with a purplish little hue, spewing off small little particles of like ember and little crackles of energy.
Lovely. The drone stops for a split second. You hear this high-pitched screech as the thing reels back. Yeah, you've heard it. And as it reels back, Eldith drops from its proboscis.
Now, fuck right off, please.
Derendale is up.
And that thing is way up in the air, right?
60 foot up, yeah.
Yeah, you just can't do anything
The
about
things
it.
on the boat aren't, though.
Yeah, he'll have to get back up on the boat. 15. I assume he can sort of move through.
Yeah, it's just an extra 5 foot to climb up the side of the boat. It's not high with water walk.
Get up to there, then that should be fine. And he'll do his multi-attack.
Okay.
Oh, is that one on the deck? Is it?
Yeah, it's on the deck. It's tried to pick up one of the goblins and tried to bite Malice, but failed. Hit.
Eight slashing.
Okay.
14.
It's a miss. It's a miss, unfortunately. It's close. He makes contact, but doesn't quite break the skin of the thing. Okay. Is that him done, I guess?
Yep.
Okay, he's out of range of all of the thingies, I think. You're unconscious, aren't you?
Mhm.
So I'm really sorry. Eldith is dead. Let's make it official. Serdi, we'll take your go as the last go, and then we'll leave it on that cliffhanger, I guess. Give you a week to stew over what you're going to do.
Okie doke. In that case, this thing is 60 feet. I'll just check. Yes, in that case, I'm going to belch up another load of acid straight up at it as it's running away.
Okay.
Dex saving throw.
But wait, Serdi, won't that come straight back down?
That's what
Yeah,
I was
it's
thinking.
got movement.
It fails.
7 points of acid damage.
Okay. It is... You see the acid eating away at its carapace. You can see it's pulsing innards below. It is so close to death. You see it flying off, the wings, they're droning, they're sort of barely visible, and then the wings stop and the droning stops. And it plummets out of the sky into the water. It is dead.
Feeling very pleased with myself. I'm gonna turn around and try and run back onto the boat.
Okay.
I don't think I can get on it, so because of other people.
Oh, okay. You can get next. Well, you can go here, obviously under the sail.
It's a bit too close to the other drone.
Yeah, that's true.
And then I'll have Serdi run round. Sorry, Ambrose run round and bite the other one.
Go for it. Yes. There we go. So, if everyone's okay, we will leave it there.
Yeah.
I know it's a mean place to leave it. So, to summarise, Tink is unconscious. I think everyone else is awake. either with things in their ears or Malice is covering her ears. Derendil, though, is not covering his ears, but is out of range. One of them is dead. The kobold has spared the dying cast on it and is stable. And Eldith Feldrun, your companion since Valkenvalve, is dead on the deck of your ship. And with that,
Rest in peace.
yeah,
That's
we
sad.
shall leave it there. Yeah,
Thanks,
it was
Matt.
sad. No, thank you all.
Cheers,
Sorry,
mate, yeah.
sorry, it was far more
Slaughter?
brutal than I thought it was going to be. Far more brutal.
I thought, is this a tough fight or are we out of practice?
You start this with a load of rats that are on fire, covered in dead bodies. Like, I don't know why you thought this wouldn't be brutal.
Oh, yeah, that's true. No,
If there's anything that is foreboding, it is this.
well, yeah, I suppose it was quite foreboding. I had no idea Eldith was going to die there. I knew she could, but it rolled really good damage.
It hadn't crossed my I knew that we'd.
She's not leveled up with. Yeah. Well, unlike you all, she's still on the same hit points that she started on. So that was over double her hit points, which is death. So unfortunately, she was dead.
If I thought about it, I would have tried.
I don't.
Got dynamites.
Hindsight is a cruel thing, isn't it? But maybe it's not the end. Maybe it's not the end. And apologies, I know I've used something that makes you unconscious, and I actually hate missing a turn. It's like my least favourite thing in D&D, but hopefully it did give an air of tension, and now you know there is a way around it, which Sev did straight away.
There's got to be some danger. I didn't even fall asleep, and I still missed, even with 3 die. So.
Oh no, I know. It's horrible when that happens. That happened to Jim last night with his
it happens. It happens.
Flaming hammer, and it just kept missing. It looked awesome, but
I honestly thought we were all going to be asleep at one point there. Oh my god, Matt's going to kill us just because we're all going to fall unconscious.
I thought so as well. I mean, it's one of those things. Rules as written that you probably should make it like someone wakes you up and then it's your go and then you're in the thing. It just seems really mean to make you roll again. So I know some people wouldn't like that, but I was like, no, you've just woke up. You get a free pass for a turn, right? You've already been unconscious. You're not going to wake up and go oh again. It's just rubbish. So yeah,
it's not that high of a DC, really, is it? It's just rolling shit as well.
I think so. Yeah, I think so. The goblins. I actually rolled the dice here, and weirdly those goblins are out, but I did forget to roll for them this time. Do you want to know whether they're out? Let's have a look. No.
I just wanted to know if I could have been woken up on my turn.
Oh. That is true. They were told to wake people up, weren't they? Do you want to take a turn before we close?
Okay.
Would you like to? You're right. Sev ordered them to kick people awake, so you would be awake. Please take a point of damage, though, from the kicking.
Can I take it at the top of the round next time?
Sure.
Can I just point out that I've created a character that is a demon hunting ranger, and I have failed first saving throws against demons every time we've encountered one so far. I'm the crappiest demon hunter ever.
Just very ambitious, maybe a bit over ambitious at the moment.
I think you should just change the last letter so that you are now the demon hunted.
Yeah.
And believe it or not, when I was doing the calculations for this, it kind of, if you use D&D Beyond, it kind of suggests that maybe it's not enough monsters, but I'm so glad I didn't listen to it. It's usually the CR's way under, right? But I think you're
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, it normally is. But I think it's, as we always had this conversation before, it's supposed to be like lots of encounters in a day. So the CR's designed to have at least 5 encounters or something. I think
Yeah.
I remember. And so yeah, we don't often do that. It's just one encounter, so it seems a bit under. But that one, I think, because well, we were rolling so badly on those saving throws and all falling asleep. But
It was
it made
bad.
it
It's not a
impossible.
particularly high DC, but if you haven't got Constitution, it's harsh. It is harsh. But again, I think you were all kind of starting to get the idea of like moving out and shoving things in your ears, and like next time you face these, I don't think you would have the same trouble. So I will end the stream then. So yeah, we'll see you next time. Are we Icewind Dale on Sunday, Steve, or
Yeah.
yeah? So Icewind Dale Sunday, Out of the Abyss Monday. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. Bye bye. Keep waving. Can't see your arm, Tom.